If I remember correctly, we should just be able to pull up and pull out. I wonder if I should plug that hole. Whoop. It's actually not that heavy. Oh, that shit's heavy. Holy shit, second gear is long now. This OE BMW one seems a lot firmer. Trash. This is not bad, honestly, but there is some slop. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tim, and in this video here we'll be doing some much needed maintenance for this E46. Now, it's an old car and stuff break down, and during various testing of various parts, which you can find on my channel, a few things have arisen. Mainly the drive shaft has developed a sound when I floor it in second and especially in third gear at around 3,000 to 4,000 RPM, it's knocking, and I think it's a drive shaft. The shifter has developed some play in it over time as well. We'll take a look at what that is. And the steering wheel isn't straight from me messing around with flex couplers. I suspect that it's because I missed it by a tooth, but we'll check that out as well. And the fuel gauge has stopped working all of a sudden. And once that is all done, we'll be ready for the next test where we're going to test differential ratios and how they affect the car's performance. So let's just get cracking really, and we'll focus on the fueling issue first. Here you can see it says that it's empty. I know it isn't. I have tried filling it up completely and I only got to about half a tank, so definitely something wrong with this gauge here or the feeler or whatever. And also this is from the steering angle implausible. $19 there, off, and then number. I think the first reading here in 6.0 is the fuel level on both sides, and it says that I have, I believe, 12.6 or 12.7 liters on one side and 000, that is 0 liters on the other side, the right side. Now I do actually have a fuel pump and a sender here, and I don't know when the fuel pump was changed the last time, so we're just going to replace the entire unit, including the actual level sender here. And then a new regulator as well here. If I remember correctly, we should just be able to pull up and pull out. Like this, and then remove it. Simply slide this clip to the side, and then we should be able to pull it out like that. There. Remove this. Okay, it's now pulled off. There.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on an E46. We're gonna
There. We'll just grab this. think this one goes in first. Let's push the gasket down. There. Press it down in place. I'll see if I can find a new, better clamp. Let's see. I think this one here. Go like this. I think we can install this. There. Fish this through. Do I even dare? Seems to be working. Good. All right, with the fuel pump out of the way, let's go ahead and change the regulator here. That's one. That's two. Let's try and squish the inlet side. This is for the regulator. This is looking just a tiny bit old and dry rotted. We'll replace that. And then here for the engine side, fuel should come out here. Let's try and catch it. And then here the return, the inlet. I wonder if I should plug that hole. Is this enough? An 8 millimeters? 8 millimeter? I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually replace these hoses here. Easiest way, simply squirting a bit of lubricant in there and then doing like this so that it spreads, and we should be able to twist it, twist it off like this. Okay, I have 3 different hoses here, and that looks to be this one here. Good. We'll place these so they're actually reachable. There, that's one. And then it simply slides off easily. And back on. We'll place, they do suffer a bit from dry rot. Let's see if it pours out. It does. Okay, when it comes to fuel filter regulators here, it's a filter and regulator in one piece. I always go for the OE one because the cheap ones, the diaphragm here can fail and then send fuel up this, what is normally a vacuum port, up into the intake. So don't skimp out on fuel filters. We'll just slide it on this, like this. We'll pull this out. And then that. Good. That's all 6 hose clamps. Now we just need some new vacuum tubing here. Let's see if we place this, whoops, right there, and then something along the lines of there. And here, where it isn't seen, 2023 09 15. Good. Now let's turn on the ignition and see if anything happens. Dry. Boom, dry. Good. There. Now, while we're at it, let's take a look at the steering issue that I have. Again, the steering wheel isn't straight after having changed the flex disc, so it's entirely possible that it has moved the tooth, a spline. Let's check that out. Still no leaks. One. Two. Maybe that plastic collar was indeed a bit crooked. Let's try and install it now that we know that it's straight. All right, that means I can take it for a test drive and see whether or not that helped. Okay, back home from a test drive. Car drives fine now. The gauge here is working. Steering wheel is straight and lights are gone. Now let's check out what this drive shaft issue is. It is kind of hard to actually inspect the drive shaft without removing this here and thus also the exhaust. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Now this is actually still hot from driving it, so let's grab some gloves, additional gloves that is. actually not that heavy. Might be hard for you to see, but if I do like this, there's just a tiny amount of play, and if I use some pliers, I'd find a bit more as well. So while this drive shaft isn't on its way out, it's definitely not new anymore. But look at this. See here? Starting to crack there. Kind of looks like it's bulging out here. Seems like it's starting to crack there as well. Okay, let's uninstall the drive shaft. Now you could just pop it in and out of gear, but there. And there's a tiny slot here. There, moved. Let's turn around to the next slot there. There, okay, good. Release the mounts here. Oh my God, it's so dirty here. Mounts actually look decent, but they're cheap and easy, so let's just replace them. Now, BMW says that these are a one-time use, if I remember correctly, but with how often I actually install and uninstall various things with one-time use, only bolts on this car here, I simply can't keep spending my money like that, so let's see here. This one, there, there, and there. Final one. There. Okay, here you can actually see better how it have started to crack. Now I do have an old one lying around here. This is actually an original piece, whereas this is JP Group. Okay, this is also the cheapest of the cheap that you can get. Look at this. This OE BMW one seems a lot firmer. Trash. Being that this drive shaft here isn't perfect anymore, that there's a little bit of play in the U-joints, I'm just going to go with this used flex disc guibo or whatever we call it. It seems to be fine without cracking, so we'll use that one. Now we also have a sloppy shifter, mainly as you saw earlier, going side to side. Off the bat I can see that this clip here isn't attached properly, but look at how much play is here. That's the side to side play you see. Okay, let's start with, oh yeah, this one came off easy. Like that. Whoops. That means we should be able to remove This here, yep. Kinda hard to tell if there's any play in this one. Slide that out as well. There, like that. How about this? Seems very sloppy, but there's no obvious things wrong with it. There, that's one clip out. There. I'm not sure, but I think maybe, yeah, there, good. And we should be able to get it out, good. There, there. Pull it off. Okay, so here are some old and new shifter bushings. Notice this coupler here, the felt pad or whatever it is all the way down in the bottom, totally depressed down there, while this one surfaces much higher. So there's definitely some slop going on here. Let's see if we can. It completely disintegrates when I do this. Yeah. Then here, the old bushing that sits here. There's nothing obvious to see, honestly. Here is a new one though. Yeah, it feels somewhat equally tight. Then this little one here, can't actually see any real signs of wear, but we're gonna replace it. Now, some of these here, depending on this piece here, sometimes they need these small washers here, so I have bought those. Finally, we have this one. Now, these bushings here are stupid expensive. Like, seriously, what the fuck I'm thinking about expensive. So, what I have done instead is I bought this one here. You need two. There's actually only one in the package, but I bought two, and I guess they just repackaged it for me. Let's see if we can get these here out. Like this. That's one. That's two. If we grab this one here, it can wiggle, whereas this one can't. Maybe we'll need to upgrade it, but this is probably the most common part to upgrade. Even when everything's new and tight, this can still wiggle just a tiny bit. It sits like this. It can still wiggle just a tiny bit, oftentimes at least. And that's what, when you're in gear and you can kind of move it around, that's part of what gives it this wiggle room here. Now, as you saw in the video, there were quite a lot of wiggle room. This also had some wiggle room, it seems. So I'm hoping that just replacing with new ones and installing poly here, that will be able to get rid of the slop. Okay, this is now clean enough. Now we should be able to install these in here, but we will need a bit of lube. Okay, so I wasn't actually able to find any instructions on how to install them, but luckily for me, I've actually found a photo that shows that the square side, this is to turn outwards, whereas the beveled side or the rounded side is supposed to be on the inside of this here. So square, square. Almost there. There. Then I should be able to put it through. I'm gonna give this a bit of grease as well. There. And then just slosh it around in there. And now we fit this. There should be no up or down. There. Go. Jesus from Christ. I do think I got it started. Let's just yep. Yeah, that's a lot tighter than before, honestly. First, we need to install this past that point there, and then we should be able to snap it into place like that, and then we should be able to install this. There. No, but you do need, if you wiggle it up and down, it will go in a lot easier. Okay, let's get these down here, there. Like that. I think I just need to push it through here. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely in place now. Good. There's a small arrow here and a small arrow up here. So this needs to turn up and this needs to turn ahead. There. Let's see, to make room for the guibo, this here needs to have that orientation. We grab this, push it through like that. Then we just need these clips here and then we should be fine. There. Oh, seems like there's no play already. When I do like this, there was a lot of play before, but doesn't seem like it anymore. Okay, so I still need to clean this up here. and clean this and change these here. But honestly, I'm a bit excited. I wonder, like, how does it feel, you know? So I honestly think I'm just gonna try and install it. These are the things that make it a bit more fun working on cars, fixing something, improving on it, you know? Let's see. Wow. It's a lot tighter, honestly. Like if you force it, then there is some slack, but seriously, this is very nice. And there's also a much crisper, like when you put it forwards here. It's a lot crispier. But you did see that small, I don't even know what it's called, but this is nice. Much better. Now I can't wait to drive it, honestly. Okay, next project. That's gonna be super cool. A little bit of soapy water. Area's clean. Now it's time for this admittedly used flex disc. These small arrows here are supposed to be pointed towards a flange, like this. Other than that, there's no front or rear. Arrow right there, and this should fit there. Before I actually torque it down, I want all three of them somewhat tightened by hand. We'll rest against this one. There. 2, 3. To reduce unwanted frequencies, we're gonna place a piece of butyl tape, I think it's called, butyl tape, whatever, something, right here. Clean. I think it'll be easier to remove this thin strip here, like this, and then do you know what? I think I'm gonna leave this on and then install the drive shaft, have it push up against, drop it slightly, remove this, then we should be good. First the rear end here, then the front. Just a couple of threads here should do it. Something there. Need to drop it slightly. There. Up here. That's This one comes through from the same direction. There. Again, we'll start by just running them in. Here it is, cleaned and painted. So the easiest thing is to simply place this with the indentation sitting right in this notch here. There. Do the same for the other side. And then simply kinda sliding it on. Something like this. I'll just check to be sure. This one's correct. That one's correct. Good. The only info I could find on these here was 42 Newton meters for a 10 millimeter bolt, but these are 8 millimeters, so I'm just gonna do it by hand, really. Give it a tug. Okay, now I'm confident with tightening these. I kind of want to change the rear differential while I'm at it, because I need to test that for a future video. What's it like going from a 293 to a 338, as that is what most people do. Right now it's a 338. I feel like I'd get the best comparison by driving around with the 293 for some time and then swapping in the 338 again. One. Two. There. There. Screw these back on. And then loosen this. That shit's heavy. I've gotten hold of this original from this car, 293, bought it from the previous owner of this car that did the swap to 338. So I'm gonna install this instead, turn it back to stock, and then I'm gonna drive around with it, see how I like it, and then turn back to 338 and do a video on it. But first I need to make sure that there's actually oil on it. There. Flip it over again, turn it around. Okay, there is some oil, but I don't think it's enough. BMW says to have it stay here unsupported. Then you tighten these here first, 95 Newton meters, and then the rear one, 174 Newton meters. So that's what we're gonna do. There. 32 Newton meters. 52 Newton meters. That's it. 90 Newton meters is what I seem to be able to find online that these should be tightened to. Exhaust back in its place. Original 293 diff, very dirty. Normally I wouldn't install a differential this dirty in my otherwise clean car, but I have a strong feeling that I'll want to go back to 338. So this is merely for testing purposes. Driveshaft refitted, new, old, guibo, everything torqued to spec everywhere. We managed to clean this one here and change the actual transmission mounts. New copper lock nut washers here. Reusing the gaskets. All covers fitted and so on. I actually think we'll be okay now. Let's take it for a spin. All right, new guibo. New shifter bushings. Let's see if any of it actually helps with the driving. Also, we installed the 293 diff coming from a 338. So that's also gonna be interesting to see how the car behaves just from doing that alone. For now, let's see if the guibo has stopped knocking and how the shifter feels. Oh. Already now I can feel the shifter is much tighter. Yeah, such a joy. Also going in and out, I can feel it. It's not as squishy anymore, as spongy. Really nice. Weirdly, normally I'd have a clunk going from first to second. I don't have that now. Let's try again. No matter how easy I took it, it would clunk a little. Let's try again. No. Amazing. Did we really solve that? That's been an issue on this car for the entirety of the time I've had it. When it's cold, it would clunk going from first to second. Let's try again. No. Nice. So much nicer to drive now that the steering wheel is actually straight. Okay, when I let off the gas, I can hear a little bit whine coming from the diff, but it's not new. It's probably covered at least 150,000 kilometers or so. No biggie, still good enough for testing. In third gear at almost 3,000 RPM. Let's try and floor it and see if it still has that sound. Nope. Gone. Let's try in second gear. Nope. Gone. Holy shit. second gear is long now. I maybe think that it will be faster 0 to 60, being that we only need to shift once now. All right, I'm gonna end the video here. We managed to do a lot of maintenance, such as steering wheel's now straight and there's no slop in the shifter bushings, and the drive shaft doesn't make any noise. So a big thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, please consider liking or subscribing. Bye.